In this video, we are going to learn about dynamic components in Svelte. Dynamic components is a concept that is best understood with some background. So let's first understand the scenario we are looking at implementing for our example. In a web application, you might often need to create a tabbed user interface. For example, you would have 3 tab buttons. At the top and below the tab you would have some content, but the content is controlled by clicking on the individual tab buttons. If you click on the tab A button, tab A content is displayed. Click on tab B button, the corresponding content would be displayed. And if you click on tab C button, the corresponding content again would be displayed. Let's try to implement this in our Svelte application. I'm going to begin by creating 3 new components in the component folder. Tab A.Svelte, tab B.Svelte, and tab C.Svelte. Within the tab A.Svelte file, let me add some text as markup. Tab A content, and I'm going to copy paste this code into the other 2 files as well, tab B and tab C. Next, let's add the tabbed user interface in the app component first. Let's import all the 3 components, tab A, tab B, and tab C from their corresponding files. Next, let's add the app component markup for the tab buttons. Let's add 3 buttons, tab A, tab B, and tab C. Next, let's invoke the 3 components. Alright, if we now save the file and take a look at the browser, we have the tab buttons, but all the 3 components are being rendered as the content. Let's go back and make changes to ensure only the active tab is being displayed. In the script section, add a new variable called ActiveTab and set it to tab A. Select ActiveTab is equal to tab A. On each of the buttons on click, let's update the active tab. So on click, ActiveTab is equal to tab A. Similarly, ActiveTab is equal to tab B and ActiveTab is equal to tab C. Finally, on the individual components, let's add a condition. If ActiveTab is equal to tab A, render tab A component. If ActiveTab is equal to tab B, render tab B component. And finally, if ActiveTab is equal to tab C, render tab C component. So the appropriate tab is rendered based on the ActiveTab value, which is controlled by the button click. If we now save the file and take a look at the browser, by default, tab A is the active tab and its content is displayed. Click on tab B and the content changes, and the same with tab C as well. We are able to change the content based on the active tab. Although this works great, but you will start to realize that this is not the right approach. If we have a lot of components that we have to switch between, you would need to include every single component in the markup, and for each component add the if block to conditionally render it. For example, if you have a multi-step form where each form is presented under a tab, it is quite possible that you might have 8 to 10 tabs easily. To help in this scenario, Svelte provides us with a special element. Let's understand its syntax and usage. Let me comment out the component tags to begin with. Next in the markup, we are going to include a Svelte specific HTML tag, which is Svelte:component. The role of this tag is to render a Svelte component, and the way we inform this tag what component to render is by setting this attribute to the attribute we bind a component. For our scenario, the component has to be dynamically set based on the button click. So begin by changing ActiveTab to reference the actual component rather than the string. Tab A, tab B, and tab C. Without the quotes in the script section, the initial value is the tab A component. Now to this attribute on the Svelte:component special element, we assign ActiveTab. We now save the file and take a look at the browser. Our UI still works as expected, but this time we have written lesser code. So that is about dynamic components in Svelte. When you have a requirement to switch between components, you can make use of Svelte:component special element with this attribute to inform Svelte of the component that has to be rendered in the UI. Dynamic components also reduce the amount of code you have to write, thereby making it easier to maintain your code in the long run. One last point I would like to mention here is about special elements in Svelte. In this video, we had a look at Svelte:component element, but let me tell you that it isn't the only special element available to us. We have a few others, which I want to talk about very briefly in this video. We have Svelte:self, which allows a component to contain itself recursively. We have Svelte:window, which lets you add event listeners to the window object, and Svelte:body, which lets you listen for events that fire on the document body. We then have Svelte:head, which allows you to insert elements inside the head of your document. Lastly, we have Svelte colon options, which lets you specify compiler options. The Svelte colon component element is something I feel needed a bit of explanation for practical usage, and hence this video. The use case for the other special elements is very specific and you might not often require them in your application. So I wanted to ensure you are aware of these elements. But please do explore yourselves their usage based on the app requirements. Alright then, thank you guys for watching and I'll see you guys in the next video.